Hello, my name is Emma, and this is my first ever YouTube video. Um, I've been watching YouTube for years, and it's something I've always wanted to do, but being the introvert I am, it was hard, and this is still hard. I feel like you'll be able to hear my breathing, but we'll go with it. I'm not sure what my channel is going to be yet. I'm hoping it will be like a little bit of everything I enjoy, so Reddit stories. I absolutely love Reddit. True crime, maybe. I feel like I need to get a bit like more comfortable first. Reaction videos because I'm currently loving it. And if you follow Luxeria on here, she is my idol at the moment because her videos hit hard. Am I the asshole for asking my husband not to walk around all nude because it makes my daughter uncomfortable? Okay. So, I have a 14-year-old daughter and my husband has two sons, who are 10. My daughter's dad passed away when she was just 2, and my stepson's mum died when they were around 5. My husband was pretty used to walking around the house naked after showering since it was just boys around. But now there's me and my daughter, who again is a teenager. My daughter leaves her door open because of something that happened when she was younger. We had to evacuate and her door got stuck, so she's a bit traumatized by it. Side note, I always leave my door open. I feel so uncomfortable when her door is shut. And I don't know if that's rubbed off on my cat, because if I close a door in the flat, even if like no one is in there, he will scratch at that door. And then as soon as I open it, he's like, not interested anymore. So I don't know, maybe my trauma has rubbed off on him. So my husband has this habit of walking out of the bathroom naked after taking a shower. Just stroll into the bedroom all chill while scrolling on his phone. My daughter came to me the other day complaining that she doesn't want to see him like that. I told my husband about it and he was like, okay, but then he got annoyed with my daughter for bringing it up instead of just letting it go. I explained that she thinks seeing her stepfather naked is really disrespectful to both of them, and she values her privacy, even though he knows about her trauma, and then he said to get her into therapy. She's already in therapy, and it's actually getting better at shutting the door when she changes. He got all mad, saying I was choosing her over him. We've been going back and forth for like 3 days about the same thing, which is why I'm here. My daughter said that she could just handle it because she hates hearing us argue. So, I don't think she's the arsehole. I think he is the arsehole. Even if she didn't have any trauma, why are you walking around naked when there's not only teenage stepdaughter in the house, but also your sons? Like, I get, oh, all boys, blah, 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 but I feel like there should be a boundary in that way. Comment if you disagree, but I would be uncomfortable seeing my mum just strolling around the house naked. Like, I get like, oh, maybe if I walked in on her by accident, yeah, cool. She's a woman, I've seen it all before. But if my mum was just strolling around the house naked, I'd be like, can you like get a bit of a grip? Because it's a bit wrong. I don't know. But especially if it's your dad or your stepdad and you're a teenage girl, when bodies are such a icky thing, I feel like, when you're a teenager, because everything at that age feels embarrassing or awkward. And then for something that actually is embarrassing or very awkward to happen, it puts you in such a position where she must feel so uncomfortable. And to say the therapy comment while knowing she's in therapy and knowing that's her own trauma, I think that's just a bit of a dickhead move. But yeah, let me know what you think. Your 14-year-old daughter sounds so much more mature and grown than your husband. You've done a great job with her. Now just get hubby a robe. I agree, she does sound a lot more mature than him. You're choosing her over me. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Now put some fucking gloves on, pervert. Oh, I love that. That's exactly what I was thinking. Especially since this isn't her dad. She's known her entire life. He's relatively new into her life and is flashing her. I'm fairly certain that this would basically be a crime if she's a minor. I mean, I understand what they're saying, but I don't know about the crime thing. I get it. Like, if he's making her feel really uncomfortable and it doesn't seem to be any like sexual motivations behind it, but you never know. So at the end of the day, I feel like her comfort should come before his, because she's the one that's a child, and also he's just doing something really weird. What type of parent accuses another parent of choosing their child over them? Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. Exactly. Kids come first. It's not even a crazy request. We've taught our kids that nudity is linked to sexuality and inappropriate in almost every situation. I get that. I kind of feel like I've been brought up in that way without it being explicitly said. But then you don't want it to go to the point where they're like ashamed of naked bodies, because like nakedness can be a form of art. And it's good to feel comfortable with that. But I agree in this situation. It seems like she's not the arsehole, which I'm guessing we all probably thought as well. Am I the arsehole for insinuating to my son that his father and I have sex? Well, I feel like you kind of know, like, if your parents are together or you've got step parents or whatever, you kind of just know that it happens. I feel like it's not something you ever want to think about, but it's just like, yeah, So let's see where this takes us. My husband and I have a very healthy and active sex life. We are fairly kinky and have rather large collections of toys and other things related to this. I have a personal history with parents and toys in terms of finding something I shouldn't have found at a very young age. Recently moved. Before moving, my husband and I had a loft bed with built-in compartment for our things. But there wasn't enough space for it at our new house. We bought a new bed with built-in drawers that we started using. We have a son, 14, who has always been curious. And that said, we've always respected his privacy since he was very small. We don't go into his room without permission, spots that we won't look into under any circumstances. I didn't grow up with that sort of privacy. Yeah, it would have been nice. It would have been nice. Especially at that age. I feel like at that age you have so many things you want to hide. Even if they're not even bad, you're just like, "Ah, this is so embarrassing." I hope my parents didn't see. But yeah, they always did in my case. He is absolutely shit at respecting our privacy. Since we got the new bed, he's been going into our bedroom without knocking at any time of the day or night, and throwing himself onto our bed, declaring his boredom before trying to open our drawers. I think that's a bit weird. That doesn't sound like a 14-year-old. I feel like most 14-year-olds don't want to be in their mum and dad's room. Drawers are locked though. My husband and I have the keys. Our son has been getting frustrated about not knowing what's in the drawers, and today I caught him stealing my keys to snoop. I reminded him that his dad and I are two adult people, and thus my own adult things. I asked if he's really sure he's prepared what he might find. Our son now claims I've traumatized him. I'll get over it. One should know such things about their parents. My husband is embarrassed and thinks I should have lied and said something about birthday presents. But I honestly think that would have made his curiosity worse. 100%. If you said that, he would have been in that drawer within the next couple minutes. My son has vowed never to go near our bedroom again, so I achieved my goal. But am I the arsehole for how I went about it? Edit. Guys, he knows about sex. He's had very extensive sex ed, both at school and at home. He's just grossed out about his mum and dad having sex. I think he'd prefer to pretend that him and his brother were dumped here by a stork. I get, like, you don't want to think about it, but if you're trying to get into your mum and dad's locked bedroom drawers, you kind of asked for it, in my opinion. Yeah. So let me know what you think. I don't think she's the arsehole at all. Like, he was being annoying. So yeah, make him feel uncomfortable because he made you uncomfortable. He's grown enough to like understand that parents have sex. So yeah, I agree with her. I would have probably done the same thing. Anyway, here are some of the top comments. Not the arsehole. I'm a firm believer of don't ask questions that you don't want to know the answer to. The sooner he learns that lesson, the better. I also believe people shouldn't snoop if they're going to be upset about what they find. Exactly. Because when I found that thing we talked about earlier, I was snooping. It was a drawer in my parents' room that I probably shouldn't have gone into, Besides, telling him that you're hiding presents in a drawer would only make him want to take a peek and see what he's getting for his birthday. Exactly. Besides, it's not like you described your sex life to him in gross detail. I feel like if he ever does something like that again, you probably should, because that would be funny. I don't know, like I know I don't know this kid and he's only 14, but I find him really annoying. Let me know what you think. Maybe I'm being a bit judgy. Imagine him going to Snoop for presents and then spending all his time worrying what he's going to do about the butt plug his parents are giving him for his birthday. Oh, just wait for the forthcoming post. Am I the asshole? My parents bought me a butt plug for my birthday. How do I tell them I'm not into that kind of thing without offending them? My now ex-boss found my last post in here somehow and used it as part of his justification to fire me today. About 2 weeks ago, I made a post in here about my boss letting a problematic guest return to our property. Long story short, she was a nightmare, made 4 separate cases against us to court customer service, including one where she falsely called me a racist. When she finally checked out, we were all supposedly in the same camp of good riddance, only for her to check back in 3 weeks later. Anyway, cut to today. I come in for my shift and I'm being told I'm being let go, effective immediately. The reason: excessive use of the back office computer for non-work related reasons. Wow. The examples cited were some Google searches, logging into my personal email literally just twice, and this one is on me and a little dumb admittedly, browsing Indeed and other job sites. I feel like we've all done that. One particular Google search does look kind of sketchy. The guest and I were chatting about our conversation. I was curious. Are there any porn studios in Atlanta? I mean, you probably should. Why wouldn't you just do that on your phone? Even if you're at work and there's just like a burning question in your head, like, I need to know, are there any porn studios in Atlanta? Don't use your work computer. Use your phone. That's why we have them, to do all our sneaky searches. Was I a little dumb for doing the job stuff on the office computer? Sure. Was one Google search also kinda dumb to do there? Sure. But the kicker is, he quoted the post about the bad guest and how you can't be sharing information about our guests, even though no information in any way identify her or us or our property, except to anyone who already knows the situation. But the real kicker? I never actually logged into Reddit on any computer in the building. So him knowing about that post means either he or someone else who works there is in this sub, recognized the post, and if not him, they told him about it. Unemployed as of today. Same girl, same. Which is mildly upsetting because it's a very weak reason to let someone go overall, particularly a manager, at least without warning. I mean, he shouldn't have lied about how he found out if he told you the truth. And then I guess he could use his judgment to be like, is this post a risk to our customer or our work? And from the sounds of it, it wasn't. You could maybe have a chat and a disciplinary or something, but to fire someone and then also like your reason is kind of half the truth. That's a bit of a snaky thing to do. It's a small, less than 90 room property, and in January there were whole nights where we would have single digit arrivals. It was a very casual, do your job and we won't ask questions about your downtime vibe. And I know for a fact one of the desk employees brings his own tablet and sets it up at the front desk to do his own stuff while he sits there. But, bro, if he wanted to search if there are porn studios in Atlanta, he would use his tablet. Apparently, using my official work machine was to agree.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? How did this get your ass?
Just mad because in that post, a bunch of people called him out for being a bad manager, and now his feelings are hurt because strangers who have no idea who he is think he is bad at his job. Oh well, c'est la vie. Thank you for listening to my rant. Back to the intensified job search. Well, good luck with your job search. I am currently job searching, and it's not very easy. Some of the top comments. Sorry to hear you got let go. It sucks, but maybe you can find something better. Yes. Always remember, never ever ever use work computers for anything other than work. Use your phone or even a laptop, but the minute you go on a work computer for anything, you're risking getting hosed. Even something innocent like varieties of pickles or something. That's very true. We basically have little computers here now, so it's so easy to be like, blah 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 blah, work. Are there any porn studios in Atlanta? Blah 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 blah, work. Just Google that quickly. Anyway, let me continue. I would have played dumb about sharing the guest info online. What do you mean? Why would you think I'm sharing anything? And make them show you where they see it. If they can pull it up and show you your own username, which I would still deny because I don't let anyone I know in real life know it, that means someone at work showed them. Well, boss, people who try to get other people in trouble are usually the ones guilty of a crime. Oh yeah, the double bluff. That manager is going to have to pick up the slack. May he receive the problem guest multiple times. Amen, sister. Amen. You lost any credibility with those internet searches. Use this as a lesson in future to protect your job. I agree. Anyway, that's enough of that one. My husband posted about me on Reddit, and I'm the asshole. I'm a stay-at-home mum, and I was listening to a different podcast while cleaning, and I heard a story that sounded too close to home. I figured I'd share my side here and get some feedback. Title: Overwhelmed as a stay-at-home mum, how can I save my marriage? I've been with my husband for 4 years, married for 1. I'm an accountant and he's an electrician. We both made decent amount of money. 7 months ago we welcomed our first child. I took the maximum maternity leave my company allows, which is 6 months. When it was time for me to go back to work, I felt overwhelmed with guilt and sadness about the thought of putting my child in daycare. I wanted to stay home with him. There are so many scary things happening in daycares in my area, and I would feel like I'm failing him when I have the means to stay home with him a little longer. I felt like I had no choice but to stay home, so I told my husband how I felt. I can emphasize with that, I have a cat, and whenever I have to leave him with someone, it breaks my heart. Like, my husband suggested therapy, but I knew deep down that nothing a therapist could say would change my feelings. I'm in therapy and it's really helpful, and it does sometimes change my feelings. Started calculating how much I would need to work to make up for the lost income. Normally he works 45 hours a week, but without my income he would need to work at least 65 to 70, 10 hours a day every day. I told him that we must sacrifice for our child's well-being, and I promised to do all the childcare and housework so he wouldn't even have to worry about anything at home. Even though it was extreme, he agreed. I resigned from my job as per company policy. If you don't come back, you get replaced. My husband picked up the extra hours. He starts his day by going to the gym at 5 a.m. and then working from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. He gets home at 5:30 p.m. and does nothing but watch TV, eat and sleep. If he has the energy to get up at 5 a.m. every day to go to the gym for himself, he has the energy to spend time with you and your son when he gets home from work. First month and a half, I kept my word and took care of all the housework. But then after time, I started feeling overwhelmed and needed some help. When I asked my husband to help around the house, put your clothes in the hamper, switch the laundry, change the baby's diaper, he would remind me of our agreements, so I'd do it myself. The last straw was when I told him that I was tired and wanted him to make dinner. He flat out refused and told me I was breaking my promise and shouldn't expect anything from him when it comes to housework. I was furious, but I got up, put my big girl panties on, and made dinner. Since then, I gave him the silent treatment. I thought I could handle being a stay-at-home mum, but it's overwhelming. Between taking care of our 7-month-old baby, cleaning and cooking every day, I'm exhausted. After seeing his post, I don't know how to proceed. How can I save my marriage? Any advice would be greatly appreciated. At home mum, it sounds hard. I think now it's something I would like to do if I ever had children, but I can see that it's hard. It's like a job. I mean, people get paid to look after children, so it's obviously a job. Comments. One said, drop the agreement, put your child in daycare and get a new job. Not exactly rocket science. I feel like that's a bit harsh because she did this out of wanting the best for her child, and maybe she did go into it with a bit of like rose tinted glasses, but you never know how you're going to cope with a situation until you're in it. We all love to be stay at home mums, but there are bills to pay, and with the cost of living now, you essentially need two parents working full time to afford to live. Stick to the original agreement or find a job. This isn't sustainable for either of you. He's working 10 plus hours a day and you're stuck with the housework. Both of you have every right to be stressed and overwhelmed. But don't think it's fair. Your husband is holding up his side of the agreement while you get to pick and choose. Yeah, I never really thought about it like that. Yeah, I do kind of agree with that in a way. I just think maybe this agreement isn't working for them, and there's ways around it. Maybe she could go back to work part time, put your child in childcare part time, and I know it's anxiety provoking, but then that goes back to it. Like maybe she does need therapy to get over that anxiety, and maybe start off one day a week, see how it goes. While you're looking for work, you could test it out. Exposure is the cure for anxiety. Okay, I'm gonna read one more comment. Him going to the gym before work should have nothing to do with this. He wakes up super early, sacrificing his own sleep to do something that he needs mentally and physically. Most likely, wifey and baby are still asleep at that point. OP should find something that gives her some mental relief, but without putting more on the husband. Yeah, I can see that. But also, if he has the motivation to get up and do that for himself, the gym, he should have the motivation to invest some time in his wife and his child when he gets home from work. That's my opinion. But yeah, that is all I have for today. Thank you very much for watching my first ever YouTube video. Um, I have ordered some better lighting, so hopefully that will arrive. I am on a budget, so it might not be any good. But yeah, hopefully as time goes on, we can build this channel together and I'll find my feet a bit more. But yeah, leave any suggestions you have in the comments on how I can improve or any advice for being a YouTuber. Yeah, I have a question. Are you a tea or a coffee drinker? Because I grew up being a tea drinker, and then the last few years I became more of a coffee drinker. And then since December, I had a car crash, and tea has just been like a hug in a mug. So I'm back to being a tea drinker. So let me know down in the comments, are you a tea or a coffee drinker? Okay, like and subscribe. I'll see you soon. Bye!